Have you ever said, "My English is not good"? Maybe you feel shy when you speak. Maybe you think your accent is too strong or your grammar isn't perfect. You're not alone. We've all been there. I remember when I was learning another language, I made so many mistakes. People smiled politely, but inside I felt embarrassed. I thought my words didn't sound right, so I stayed quiet. But here's what I learned: that silence slows you down. Saying my English is not good doesn't protect you, it holds you back. In today's episode, we're going to change that story. We'll explore why you feel this way, what happens when you keep saying it, and how to shift your mindset to speak with confidence. By the end, I want you to believe this truth: your English doesn't have to be perfect to be powerful. You just need courage to speak and keep learning every day. Let's start with something honest. We all have said it at some point. My English is not good. It slips out so easily, almost like a reflex. But behind that simple sentence, there's a whole story. A story about fear, self doubt, and expectations. Let's talk about why so many learners feel this way. First, it's the fear of making mistakes. You open your mouth to speak, but suddenly your brain freezes. You know the word, but it disappears the moment you need it. You worry someone will laugh, or worse, not understand you. So before you even start, you say, "My English is not good." It's a small shield to protect yourself from embarrassment. But the truth? That shield also blocks your progress. Second, it's the lack of real practice. Maybe you study English from books or apps. You memorize vocabulary, grammar rules, and tenses. But when it's time to speak, your mind goes blank. That's because language lives in real use, not on paper. Without daily speaking, your English becomes rusty, sleepy, and slow. Then you start believing, "See, I'm not improving." But you're wrong. Your brain just needs activation, not perfection. Third, comparison is a silent trap. You listen to native speakers, fast and fluent. They use idioms, jokes, and expressions you've never heard. And suddenly you feel small. You think, "I can't sound like that, so my English must be bad." But that's not fair, is it? You're comparing your chapter 2 to their chapter 20. They've spoken English since birth, you've studied it for a few years. Your journey is different, and that's okay. Fluency isn't about sounding native, it's about being understood. The fourth reason is forgetting words. Even if you've learned hundreds of words, they vanish under pressure. You start a sentence confidently, but halfway through, you stop. You panic, search for the missing word, and feel defeated. But guess what? Even native speakers forget words sometimes. They say, or pause to think. It doesn't mean they're bad at English. It's just being human. So don't punish yourself for it. It's part of the process. When all these reasons mix together, fear, lack of practice, comparison, forgetfulness, they create a powerful illusion. It feels like you're not good enough. But the truth is, you're just learning. You're on a journey, and every learner walks this same path. The problem isn't the feeling itself. The problem is when you let that feeling silence you. When you stop trying because you think it's pointless, that's when learning truly stops. Here's something to remember: you don't need to be perfect to start speaking. You need to start speaking to get better. Each mistake you make is a step forward, not a failure. Every time you say a sentence, you're training your brain. Every small effort counts. So the next time you feel like saying, "My English is not good," pause for a moment and ask yourself, is that really true? Or is it just fear trying to keep you quiet? Because the only real mistake is not trying at all. Now that we know why people say, "My English is not good," let's talk about what really happens when you keep saying it. Because those 5 words seem harmless, but they shape your thoughts in powerful ways. They sound polite, humble, even honest. But beneath that, they slowly build a wall between you and your progress. First, saying, "My English is not good," lowers your confidence. Every time you repeat it, you teach your brain to believe it. It becomes part of your identity. I am not good at English. And when you believe that, you stop taking chances. You speak less, avoid conversations, and miss opportunities. It's like planting a seed of doubt that grows each time you speak. Confidence doesn't disappear overnight. It fades word by word. Second, it becomes a habit. The more you say it, the easier it is to repeat. It slips out before every conversation, almost automatic. You say it even when you don't need to. It becomes your safety blanket, something to hide behind. But that blanket is heavy. It doesn't keep you warm. It holds you back. It makes you feel safe, but it also stops you from stepping forward. Third, it changes how people see you. When you tell someone, my English is not good, they believe you. They might switch to another language or simplify their words. They ask fewer questions, give you less time to speak. It's not because they're rude. It's because you've told them not to expect much. And the less they talk to you, the fewer chances you have to practice. It's a small sentence with a big consequence. Fourth, it creates a negative loop. You say, my English is bad, so you feel nervous. You feel nervous, so you speak less. You speak less, so you improve slower. And because you improve slower, you feel your English is even worse. That's how the cycle continues. Round and round. It's like running in circles but never moving forward. Breaking that loop takes awareness and courage. You have to stop feeding it with the same words. But let's be clear. Being honest about your level is not wrong. It's okay to say, I'm still learning English, or I'm practicing. Those sentences are honest too, but they have hope in them. They say, I'm not perfect yet, but I'm growing. And that one small change in language makes a huge difference. The words you use to describe yourself shape your mindset. Your mindset shapes your behavior, and your behavior shapes your results. Let's look at it from another angle. Imagine a child learning to ride a bike. They fall, get up, fall again, but never say, I'm not good at biking. They just keep trying. Why? Because they believe they will get it eventually. Now imagine if they said every day, I can't do it. Would they ever learn? Probably not. That's exactly what happens when you keep saying, my English is not good. You talk yourself out of improving. So what can you do instead? Start by noticing when that sentence appears. Catch it before it leaves your mouth. Then replace it with something that helps you move forward. Say, I'm still learning, or I'm getting better every day. The more you practice this shift, the stronger your mindset becomes. Because the truth is simple. Your English improves when your attitude does. Your words are powerful. They can build walls, or they can open doors. And the door to confidence opens the moment you stop saying, my English is not good. Don't let those words define you. You are more than a sentence. You are a learner in progress. Keep speaking, keep trying, and soon you'll realize you were never not good. You were just becoming better. Let's move forward. Now that we understand how negative thoughts hold us back, it's time to change how we think about English and about ourselves. Because improving your language isn't just about grammar or vocabulary. It starts in your mind. It starts with what you tell yourself every day. If you keep saying, my English is not good, your brain believes it. But if you say, my English is improving, your brain starts to act on that belief. It listens. It adapts. It looks for proof that you're getting better. That's the power of mindset. Your words become your reality. So let's begin with step 1. Replace negative sentences with positive ones. Instead of I can't speak well, say, I'm learning to speak better. Instead of my accent is terrible, say my accent makes me unique. Instead of my grammar is bad, say I'm still mastering the rules. Notice how each version feels lighter, more hopeful. Positive language opens the door to growth. Step 2. Focus on progress, not perfection. Many AI learners wait until they can speak perfectly before they start speaking. But perfection doesn't exist, not even for native speakers. They make grammar mistakes too, forget words, or mispronounce names. If you chase perfection, you'll never start. If you focus on progress, every small improvement becomes a victory. You'll begin to see that learning is not a race, it's a journey. Step 3. Celebrate small wins. Ye- Did you understand a short video without subtitles today? Celebrate it. Did you speak English with someone for a few minutes? That's progress. Did you finally remember a word you kept forgetting? That's growth. Each tiny step deserves recognition because every win tells your brain, I'm doing it. I'm moving forward. And that feeling of progress fuels your motivation to keep going. Step 4. See mistakes as friends, not enemies. When you make a mistake, don't feel ashamed. Feel curious. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Every mistake is a clue, pointing you toward improvement. When someone corrects you, they're not judging you. They're helping you grow. Think of mistakes as teachers in disguise. They only show up when you're trying, and trying means progress. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds nice, but it's hard to stay positive. And you're right. Changing your mindset doesn't happen overnight. It takes awareness, patience, and repetition. But it's worth it. Because once your mindset shifts, your learning accelerates. You stop seeing English as a wall you can't climb and start seeing it as a path you're already walking. Here's a small practice you can start today. Every morning, tell yourself one positive sentence about your English. Say it out loud. Maybe, I'm improving, or I enjoy learning English. Repeat it even when you don't fully believe it yet. Over time, your brain will catch up to your words. And soon, you'll start noticing real change in your confidence and in your fluency. Because mindset is not magic, it's practice. It's choosing better words every day. It's forgiving yourself for mistakes. It's reminding yourself that progress is made in small, consistent steps. When your thoughts change, your behavior changes too. And when your behavior changes, your results follow. So, if you take just one thing from this episode, let it be this: your mindset is your foundation. You can't build fluency on fear, but you can build it on belief. Start speaking with kindness to yourself. Start believing that every word you say is proof of growth. Because once your mind believes you can, your English will prove you right. Now that we've talked about mindset, let's talk about action. Because a positive mindset is powerful, but it needs movement. You can think confidently all day, but real improvement comes from practice. Today, let's talk about what you can actually do every single day to make your English stronger, more natural, and more confident. Step 1. Listen to English every day. Listening is the foundation of speaking. Your brain learns rhythm, tone, and sentence patterns by hearing them. You don't need to study for hours. Just 10 or 15 minutes daily works wonders. Podcasts, YouTube videos, songs, or even movie clips all count. The key is consistency. It's better to listen 15 minutes every day than 2 hours once a week. You're training your ear to recognize how English sounds in real life. Step 2. Speak a little every day. Don't wait until you feel ready. If you wait for perfect English, you'll wait forever. Even 2 or 3 minutes of speaking each day can make a difference. Talk to yourself in the mirror, record your voice, or chat with a friend. It's not about perfection. It's about building comfort. Every time you open your mouth, you reduce fear. Your confidence grows word by word, sentence by sentence. Step 3. Learn phrases, not just single words. When you learn only individual words, your brain has to build sentences from scratch. That slows you down and makes you overthink grammar. But when you learn useful phrases like, I'm not sure, but I think, or could you please repeat that? You speak faster and sound more natural. Phrases give you ready-made tools for real conversations. Start collecting them like favorite songs, short, catchy, and practical. Step 4. Try shadowing. Shadowing means listening to a native speaker and repeating right after them. You copy their pronunciation, tone, and rhythm, like an actor practicing a role. At first, it feels strange, but it's incredibly effective. It helps your mouth and ears work together. You'll start to sound smoother, more confident, and more natural. Movies, podcasts, or even short interviews are great for shadowing practice. Step 5. Write a little every day. Writing helps you think in English. It makes you more aware of grammar and vocabulary. You don't need to write essays, just short reflections. Try writing about your day, your goals, or something you learned. For example, today I listened to an English podcast and understood more than yesterday. It's simple, but it trains your brain to express thoughts directly in English. Step 6. Practice with real people. This is where confidence truly grows. Talking to real people gives you experience you can't get from books. Join online language exchange apps, English clubs, or social groups. You can also comment on videos or join online forums in English. The goal is not to be perfect, it's to connect. Each conversation makes English more alive and personal. Now, let's be realistic. You don't need to do all these steps at once. Start small. Pick one or two and stick with them for a week. Once they feel natural, add another one. It's like building a muscle. Small, steady effort beats sudden bursts. Don't rush. Progress built slowly lasts longer. And remember, improvement doesn't happen in silence. You can't think your way to fluency. You must speak, listen, and engage. Even on the days you don't feel motivated, do something small. Read one paragraph. Listen to one song. Say one sentence out loud. Each small step matters more than you think. Fluency isn't about talent. It's about habits. The people who become confident speakers are not the smartest. They're the ones who keep showing up. So show up for yourself every day in small ways. Because every time you practice, you're not just learning English. You're proving to yourself that you can grow, adapt, and improve. That's the real secret to learning any language: consistency, courage, and patience. Keep doing, keep learning, and soon you'll realize something amazing. You don't just speak English, you live it. Let's be honest, learning English isn't always exciting. Some days you feel like you're improving fast. Other days, it feels like you're walking in circles. You forget words, make the same mistakes, and wonder, am I getting anywhere? If that sounds familiar, don't worry. It happens to everyone. Even the best learners lose motivation sometimes. There are days when your brain feels tired and nothing makes sense. You try to study, but the words just won't stick. You start thinking, maybe English just isn't for me. But that's not true. You're just human. Motivation isn't constant. It comes and goes like the weather. The key is to know how to keep moving even when the sun isn't shining. Let's start with the first tip. Remember your why. Why did you start learning English in the first place? Was it for your job, your studies, or maybe to travel the world? Was it to connect with people or to feel more confident in yourself? Whatever your reason, it's your anchor. Write it down. Keep it somewhere you can see it. When you feel tired or discouraged, look at it. It will remind you why this journey matters. Your why is the fuel that keeps you going. Tip 2. Track your progress. It's easy to forget how far you've come. Maybe 6 months ago, you couldn't introduce yourself. Now you can have short conversations, even if imperfect. Write down the things you can do now that you couldn't before. Keep a little progress journal. When you look back, you'll realize you've grown much more than you thought. Progress doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers. Tip 3. Make learning fun again. If English feels like a chore, your brain will resist. So mix it with things you love. Watch movies, listen to music, or follow YouTubers who speak English. Read about topics that excite you: travel, food, science, anything. Learning doesn't have to be serious all the time. When you enjoy it, your brain relaxes, and you learn faster without even noticing. Tip 4. Compare yourself only to your past self. Comparison is a thief of joy. When you look at others who seem fluent, remember, they were once beginners too. You don't see their struggles, only their results. So don't measure your success by someone else's progress. The only fair comparison is with who you were yesterday. If you're even a little better today, you're winning. Tip 5. Be kind to yourself. You're learning a whole new language. That's not easy. There will be mistakes, slow days, and moments of doubt. But those don't define you. They're part of the process, not proof of failure. Treat yourself like you would treat a friend who's learning. Encourage, don't criticize. Support, don't shame. The more compassion you show yourself, the faster you'll bounce back. Let's talk about something else. Rest. Sometimes losing motivation isn't a sign to quit, it's a sign to rest. Maybe your mind just needs a short break. Take a day off. Go for a walk. Listen to music in your native language. Then come back refreshed. A rested mind learns faster than a tired one. Here's the truth. Motivation doesn't build fluency. Habits do. But motivation helps you start, and good habits help you continue. So when your motivation fades, rely on your habits. Do something small. Read one paragraph. Listen to one song. Even a tiny action keeps your learning momentum alive. You might not see progress every day, but it's happening. Every word you learn, every sentence you speak adds up. Fluency grows quietly, like a tree, slow but steady. And one day, without realizing it, you'll look back and see how far you've come. So next time you feel stuck, remember this. You haven't failed. You're just in between breakthroughs. Keep showing up, keep speaking, keep believing. Because consistency, not perfection, is what transforms learners into speakers. Before we wrap up, let's take a moment to look back. You've learned a lot so far, not just about English, but about yourself. This is the part where we bring everything together. Let's recap, reflect, and remind ourselves what truly matters on this journey. First, remember the simple truth. The sentence, "My English is not good," doesn't help you. It feels honest, even humble, but it quietly limits your confidence. Words shape the way you think, and the way you think shapes the way you speak. So when you tell yourself you're not good enough, your brain listens, and it agrees. But when you say, "I'm improving," it opens a new path forward. Your brain starts to believe in growth instead of limits. That's the power of language. It can either trap you or set you free. Second, we talked about why so many learners feel stuck. Fear of mistakes, lack of practice, comparing to native speakers, forgetting words. These struggles are normal. Truly, every learner faces them. But the problem isn't that you feel nervous or make errors. The real problem begins when those feelings stop you from trying. You can't control fear, but you can control what you do with it. You can choose to speak anyway, even with shaky words and imperfect grammar. That's what courage looks like, not the absence of fear, but moving through it. Third, we explored mindset, the inner voice that decides whether you grow or give up. Replacing negative thoughts with positive ones changes everything. Saying, "I'm learning every day" sounds small, but it builds confidence piece by piece. Celebrating small wins makes learning joyful instead of stressful. And seeing mistakes as lessons transforms frustration into progress. Your mindset isn't just a part of learning, it's the engine that drives it. Fourth, we talked about real action, the daily steps that bring results. Listening to English, speaking out loud, writing short notes, learning phrases, shadowing native speakers, practicing with real people, and being consistent. These are simple habits, but they build momentum. You don't need big leaps. You just need small steps, done daily. Because language learning is not a sprint, it's a steady rhythm. The more you practice, the more natural English becomes. Fifth, we face the hard truth. Losing motivation happens. You won't always feel inspired or energetic, and that's okay. What matters is what you do on the slow days. Remember why you started. Track your progress. Make learning fun again. Don't compare yourself to others. Compare yourself to yesterday's you. And above all, be kind to yourself. You're doing something brave and beautiful. Learning a new language takes patience, and you're already on your way. Now, as we tie everything together, think about this. Your English doesn't need to be perfect to be powerful. Fluency isn't about flawless grammar. It's about connection. It's about expressing your ideas, sharing your thoughts, and understanding others. Every time you speak, you're building bridges. Every word you say, even imperfectly, is a victory. Here's what I want you to take away from this episode. Stop apologizing for your English. Stop saying it's not good enough, because every mistake you make is proof that you're learning. Every effort, every sentence, every and it all counts. Progress doesn't always look perfect, but it's always there. And one day, you'll realize that the words you once feared now come naturally. So take a deep breath, smile, and remind yourself of this truth. You are not a beginner forever. You are a learner in progress. And progress, no matter how small, is something to be proud of. Before we close today's episode, I want to leave you with something powerful. A message you can carry with you every time you speak, learn, or doubt yourself. Because confidence in English doesn't come from knowing every word. It comes from believing that the words you already know are enough to begin. You see, your English doesn't have to be perfect to be useful. You don't have to sound like a native speaker to be understood. You don't need a flawless accent or complex grammar to make a connection. You just need courage, the courage to open your mouth and try. Because communication is not about perfection, it's about connection. It's about being understood and expressing yourself. When you speak, even with mistakes, you're doing something amazing. You're reaching beyond your comfort zone. You're proving to yourself that you can learn, adapt, and grow. And every time you speak, you're rewriting the story in your mind. The story that used to say, "My English is not good." Now it says, "I'm learning, I'm improving, I'm brave." Let me tell you something. Every fluent speaker you admire was once a beginner. They stumbled, hesitated, and doubted themselves, just like you. But they kept going. They spoke even when they were scared. They made mistakes, learned from them, and kept showing up. That's how fluency is built, not by being fearless, but by continuing despite fear. Think about how far you've come. The first time you tried to speak English, maybe your voice shook. Maybe your sentences felt slow and awkward. But now you understand more, say more, and feel more comfortable. That's growth. Slow, quiet, steady growth. And it deserves to be celebrated. So from this moment on, I want you to make a promise to yourself. No more saying, "My English is not good." Instead, say, "My English is growing." No more comparing yourself to others. Instead, focus on your own path, your own progress. No more waiting to feel ready. Because you are ready, right now, in this moment. Every time you speak, you're training your brain. Every mistake is a stepping stone. Every word you use makes the next one easier. So don't wait for the perfect sentence. Speak with what you have. You'll find that people care more about your message than your grammar. And here's a little secret. Confidence comes after action, not before. You don't get confident first and then start speaking. You speak first. And through that, confidence begins to grow. It's like learning to swim. You can't do it by standing on the shore. You have to get in the water. You have to move, splash, and learn as you go. So as we end today's episode, I want you to take a deep breath. Smile. Remember how far you've come. You've learned new ideas, new ways to think, and new ways to speak. Your English is improving every single day, whether you see it or not. And as long as you keep learning, you'll keep growing. Let this be your new mantra. I'm learning. I'm improving. I'm proud of my progress. Say it when you wake up. Say it before you speak. Say it when you make mistakes. Because that's the truth. You are improving. You're not just learning English. You're building confidence, resilience, and courage. So keep speaking, keep listening, keep believing. Your English journey doesn't end here. It's only beginning. And remember, the next time you want to say, my English is not good, smile instead and say, I'm getting better every day. Because you are. You truly are. And that's where we'll end today's episode. Thank you so much for spending your time here with me. I hope you're walking away feeling lighter, inspired, and ready to keep going. Remember, learning English is not a race, it's a journey. Every word you say, every mistake you make is part of your growth. So keep practicing, keep believing, and keep moving forward. Your English doesn't have to be perfect to be powerful. You already have everything you need: curiosity, courage, and heart. So go out there, speak with confidence, and let your voice be heard. I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, keep learning, stay motivated, and never stop believing in yourself.